You'll hear folks around Texas use words like tough, dependable, innovative when they describe Ford F-Series trucks. Oh, and if you're talking to a Texas auto writer, you might hear these words: Truck of Texas. You see, during the 2012 Truck Rodeo, Ford F-Series took top honors over Chevy and Dodge, proving that Ford is the best in Texas.
Welcome back to the new installment of the WT Coaches Show. I'm your host, Kelton Waynes, and alongside me is head women's basketball coach Krista Gurley. Now, Coach, you played Eastern New Mexico twice in the same week. Tell us about both those games.
Well, that's a difficult thing to do, and that's one of the parts of the Lone Star Conference scheduling that I don't think any of the coaches really enjoy very much, but it is something we have to do. It's difficult to do that just because, you're either going to have really two tough games back-to-back, or in our situation, we kind of had a big victory on Wednesday, and then we had to turn around and play them again, and it's just hard to get your kids to understand that, they're going to be stronger, they're going to be tougher on their home court, they're going to get different looks, they're going to adapt or adjust to some of the things that you did to them the first time around, and it's just a difficult thing to do, and obviously we didn't master that, but I do think that, the first time out, we kind of got ourselves back on track with getting a win there, and maybe just lost a little focus going over to Eastern, I'm not sure, but we just need to keep plugging away.
Now, you mentioned getting yourselves back on track. You won your first 6 conference games and now have lost 4 out of the last 5. What are you doing to change things up in practice, maybe to get the girls' focus back on basketball?
Well, we're just trying to keep improving. We've got to continue to work on our defense. I thought before the break that our defense was starting to be pretty good. I thought that we were starting to understand some of the things that we wanted to do, and I think since the break we have not executed that well at all, obviously. I don't think that we have bought in very well to playing hard all the time and applying the pressure and not having defensive lapses, and I think that has really hindered us in these last 5 games, and we've got to do something to turn it around, and we have been really focusing on that and focusing on being more disciplined and just playing harder, and we had a hard stretch of games through there. We played at Tarleton, at Midwestern, and then Cameron here, the 3 top teams in the conference all back-to-back, and that's certainly not an excuse because everyone's going to have to do that at some point during the season, but at the same time, our kids are still pretty young, and just trying to make them understand how important and how difficult it is to win on the road, and I think that the Tarleton and Midwestern kind of took the wind out of our sails, and we just haven't bounced back yet, but I know that our kids are resilient, and I know that they're really persevering right now and trying really hard to buy into what we're doing, and you just can't hang your heads. We still have a lot of basketball to play. We've got a lot of games to win, and our kids have got to have that right mentality to be able to get back on track.
Now, 2 first-year students this year, Devin Griffin and Kenesha Harris, leading the Lady Buffs in scoring right now. What can you say about these 2?
Well, I think that both of them have done a really good job of getting their points and trying to be really active on the inside. I think there are others that are trying to help them. I think Joni and Ashley have done a pretty good job, and Joni particularly has kind of stepped up in spots and scored and just been a really good leader out there on the floor for us. But I think that Kenesha has just really decided to just be a workhorse. I think that her work ethic has been phenomenal, and she's really wanting to be the one, and she's realizing that she has a physical advantage over her opponent, and is trying to really crash the boards and just be real active in the paint, and has done a really nice job. I think Devin, we've been moving her around quite a bit, and maybe since the break hasn't gotten back into the groove where we really need her to be effective, but at the same time she's still finding a way to get some points on the board and doing some other things for us. But I think both of those kids have got to continue to really improve on the defensive end. I think that they are starting to understand a little bit more what we want on offense, obviously, but I think that they've got to continue to improve on defense as well.
Now, Coach, final question. You've got Incarnate Word and Texas A&M Kingsville coming here later on this week. What are you seeing in your preparation for both those games?
Well, first of all, it's a Thursday, Saturday, a little bit out of our routine. Not as much prep time for Kingsville with just the 1 day off in between. But they both just battled it out against each other, and kind of the same thing happened. Incarnate Word at home and won at home, and then Kingsville won at their place on Saturday. Both teams are very capable of winning basketball games. We played them a long time ago. We played them the first 2 ball games of the season of conference play in early December. And so they're going to be very different basketball teams than the first time we played them, which I hope we are too. But I do hope that we start stepping up and rising to the level that we can play at. So Incarnate Word's very athletic. They've got a nice shooter on the perimeter at the point guard, and we're going to have to do a really good job of really just playing our game and getting back on track for ourselves. You know, we can't worry about necessarily what the other teams are doing right now, because we've got to take care of business on what we're doing if we're going to be successful.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time, and good luck this week.
Thanks.
We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Hey LSC fans, it's free food, free games, free fun. 2012 Lone Star Conference Fan Fest, followed by 2 men's basketball games at 6 and 8:30. For more information, go to lonestarconference.org.
Welcome back, Buff fans, to the WT Coaches Show. I'm your host, Kelton Weens, and we have head men's basketball coach Rick Cooper in studio with us today. Now, Coach, you played Eastern New Mexico twice in 1 week last week. Tell us about both those games.
Both very close games. We were fortunate enough to eke out a win here when we played them at our place, and then by I think 3, and then lost by 2 over at their place. So that's an interesting kind of dynamic that's unique to our league. We play that what we call rivalry week, where we play back-to-back, an opponent back-to-back. In this case, it was Eastern New Mexico. And so it's an interesting dynamic, as far as preparation and play. 2 hard-fought games. I thought we were fortunate and played well to get the win here at our place. Did some good things. Got a big lead actually at halftime. Had a 17-point lead at halftime. Then kind of hung on to get the win. And then over at their place, it was a kind of a back and forth game the entire game. And I thought we played hard, and I thought we had very good effort. I just think in that particular instance, they were the better team that night.
Now, Coach, you're also in the second half of LSC play.
We are.
You're going to play Kingsville and Incarnate Word both this week at home. What do you have to say about those games?
They're both really good teams. It's sort of a unique setup as far as the conference goes. We went to San Antonio and Kingsville early in the year. Those were our first 2 conference games. They were Thursday, Saturday. Typically, our conference games were played on Wednesday, Saturday, but due to the extensive travel in that, with us and Eastern going to South Texas like that, and those guys coming here, the athletic directors and coaches got together and opted to make those Thursday, Saturday, so the teams could do it on one trip. So we're playing 2 really good teams. Again, back to back. Both those games were very close games down at Incarnate Word and over at Kingsville. We were fortunate to sneak out of both places with a win, but we'll have to play really, really well to have a chance to win those games this week. And Incarnate Word's swept Kingsville and is playing really well right now.
Thanks for joining us for the WT Coaches Show. Check back next week for more WT Sports action. For the WT Sports Network, I'm Kelton Weens.